Here's Johnny.
Take your stinking paws off me.
Be cool. Be cool.
You fools, you're in danger! It's alive! It's alive! Wait, 21 gigawatts! Hallelujah! Holy shit! You believe this?
Jack, Bert, me.
We're pretty good to run, girly boy. Stop it!
What's up, movie collectors, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host as always, Jay Schatzer, and today I'm going to be doing a little segment on my John Carpenter Blu-rays and DVD collection. We've gone through a few already, and we've finally made it to Carpenter, so let's dive right in. First off, I have an interesting debut for John Carpenter. It is Someone's Watching Me. Who could that be? But this one isn't very known. I know it has a Blu-ray edition that I'm going to have to upgrade because this is some random Warner Brothers edition, which is decent enough, but I want to upgrade because this really is a good film. Really classic done. Just a kind of a thriller where this woman's kind of stalked in an apartment high-rise, and it's just really well shot. Not over the top, nothing too crazy, and it's just a really, really cool, low-key film that you should check out if you like John Carpenter's work or if you just like low-key horror movies in general. But that is Someone's Watching Me. Put that right there. Next up is... almost grabbed the wrong one. Next up is Assault on Precinct 13. Another DVD release here that I need to upgrade to Blu-ray because this is a great little action film. Kind of a siege film where there's just a bunch of characters in a house where they're just trying to survive. They're being overrun by crazy gang members who decide just one night to attack a police station that's about to be decommissioned and moved somewhere else. So it's just kind of a skeleton crew there at night, and they just are besieged by crazy gang members. Really good flick. Just like, it's got just great characters like Carpenter's known for creating, and it's just a fun film. I believe, I think I did a review of it. I'm pretty sure I did a review. I'm starting to lose track of what I've done because I'm starting to do too many reviews. But check it out if I did a review. I'm going to look up to see if I did it. I don't know. It's getting confusing, man. It's getting crazy. But that is a great film. If you haven't seen it before, even if you saw the remake's decent, but this is where it's at. Good stuff. Classic action film. Great characters and a fun time. But let's move on to John Carpenter's, well, what he's basically known for, Halloween. Now this is the entire Halloween collection that I have. So obviously he didn't direct all of these films, but this is pretty much just to showcase Halloween 1, his classic work. And this box set in general from Shout Factory is really, really great. Well, this isn't Shout Factory, this is Scream. Getting my things mixed up. From Scream Factory. But it's a great Blu-ray with all the films on it. How many are in here? All the way up to, well, it's got Halloween, the Rob Zombie ones too on it, 1 and 2. So it's got the whole thing. It's got John Carpenter's Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, and Halloween 1 and 2 from Rob Zombie. Which I kind of despise, but I don't know. It's just so vulgar. Come on. But yep. Halloween, I don't really need to say much about that, just that this edition is great, grab it, there. Let's move on to his other stuff. Next up is The Fog, and I got this sweet baby in a steelbook. It's a great film about a small town being under siege by a bunch of pirate ghosts that attack the town on its anniversary. And just great atmosphere, great characters. You got just everyone in here that you can think of. Tom Atkins, Jamie Lee Curtis, just Andrea Barbeau. I mean, just everyone's in here, and it's just really, really great. Really great flick. Really fun, atmospheric, creepy, visually splendid. All of the above. If you haven't seen it before, just turn this damn video off and check it out, because that's ridiculous. Great film. Check it out as soon as possible. I know I've reviewed that one, so check out the review. Classic. But next up is another John Carpenter action flick, and it is Escape from New York. Classic Kurt Russell in the main role as Snake Plissken, and just an all-star cast of badasses in this badass action flick. Probably know the story of it, but he has to go save the president, who is Donald Pleasence. And Donald Pleasence gets trapped behind the barrier walls of New York City, which is now a prison, and he has to go in there, rescue him, and I can't remember the amount of time he has to get back before he dies, but that is the gist of the film, and just check it out if you haven't seen it, because it really is awesome. Kurt Russell's badass in it, and that's all I have to say. I can say badass, 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 and then it sums it up, so just watch it. But next up is another Kurt Russell starring flick. It is The Thing! And this is famous for being a great remake. So you hear how many times people remake films and they're shit? Well, this is one of those times where the film actually turned out better than the original. Which I like the original for its classy, you know, kind of 50s black and white style. But The Thing is a practical effects wonder of a flick. You just really have to see it. It's just crazy, off the wall, grotesque, disgusting, and the tension in the film is just so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. Is that how it goes? That's how that saying goes? But the cast is stupendous. Like, seems like that's the tradition of John Carpenter flicks, is that the cast is just amazing across the board. And this one is probably one of his best efforts. So check this one out if you haven't. Great flick. Great flick, great Blu-ray edition. Put it right there. Let's go to the next flick, which this is a movie that I hated it, but I never saw it. I don't like flicks where inanimate objects move. Like Chucky, get that shit out of here. I hate those Chucky flicks. But this one, I gave it a chance because it's John Carpenter, and I now love Christine. I love it. But I watched this for the first time, last year, because it's 2019, so in 2018, a few months ago, I believe, I watched Christine and loved it. Great flick, great style, characters are on par with all of other John Carpenter's flicks, and it's just fun to watch. Even if it is a car that comes to life and kills people. As lame as that sounds, Christine is a great flick. I admit it. I'll admit when I'm wrong. But let's keep moving on to another one of Carpenter's classics. The guy's got a million of them. But this one is a fun action comedy / a little bit of horror elements, and that is Big Trouble in Little China. Got Big Trouble. If you ever see this, all the editions have a music video that John Carpenter is singing in, and that's what he sounds like. In Little China. But you gotta check out this flick if you just love fun action adventure films. It really is great. Great cast. Kurt Russell nails it as Jack Burton, and then you got Kim Cattrall as this, love interest, sassy chick, and just the rest of the cast is great. Got a lot of familiar faces in it, and it's just a fun movie about a semi-truck driver who gets mixed up in Chinatown in San Francisco and all these wacky adventures with crazy mystical wizards and ninjas and creatures, and it's just fun as hell. Like, I could probably watch this movie every single day and not get sick of it. That's how fun it is. But let's keep moving on because there's just too many to keep track of. Next up is a great little horror gem. It is Prince of Darkness. Another great film with an amazing cast. You got Donald Pleasence coming back into Carpenter's world, doing a great job. as a priest who is trying to hold back evil from returning back to the world. I guess in the form of a Prince of Darkness. But it's a slow-paced flick. I mean, a lot of his other movies they have a tempo and tone to them, and just like those, but this one seems to have more of a laid-back approach to everything. Just really atmospheric, just really soaks you into the world and just lets you get lost in it. So, one of my favorites, and it's one of those Carpenter movies that people don't really talk about, but you know, they should, because it really is good. Just like all his other flicks. Great cast, just great story, just entertaining as all hell. One thing you can say about John Carpenter is he makes entertaining flicks. Speaking of entertaining flicks, here is They Live. It's true, they live. And this one's it's just badass fun. It's sci-fi comedy, maybe horror elements, but he takes so many just elements and jams them all together into one hell of a fun package. This one starring Roddy Piper as he tries to fight back against an oppressive alien race that has blended themselves into our world, and the only way that you can find out who is really an alien and who isn't is by wearing some kick-ass sunglasses. It's such a ridiculous premise, but it is so fun to see just unwind. Like, Carpenter can make the stupidest things just fun to watch. And that's what he does with They Live. And I got this in a steelbook. I believe I picked this one up at Best Buy, just like I picked up the Fog steelbook. Just a great flick, great Blu-ray, great times. And up next is a movie that I have to upgrade to Blu-ray soon, and I had my finger on the trigger about to pull it, but pulled out because I'm like, I spent too much money on other stuff previously, so take it easy, big guy. It is In the Mouth of Madness. And this one is one of his later films, but it's still entertaining as hell. Like, he doesn't really slump in his career like most of the other directors like George Romero and Argento, like those types. It seems like they just fall off a cliff and then they just make the craziest, stupidest shit. But John Carpenter, his career went pretty much steady for most of it. There's a few trips and falls, but nothing like the other guys. But In the Mouth of Madness is just a great story about this novelist named Sutter Kane who creates this whole world, and his town just kind of appears, and Sam Neill's character has to go investigate it. And he's freaking out right there. But he has to go and investigate, and just weird stuff happens to him. He starts seeing things. You don't know if he's hallucinating, or if these things are real, or if Sutter Kane has the power to make these things happen. It really is a great film, and really surreal, really, I would say, like a Cthulhu kind of like Lovecraft weird style to it. So check that one out if any of that stuff sounds interesting, because not a lot of people talk about that film, so I don't know if it's more not widely known or what, but yeah, great one, check it out. Moving on to, and some people don't like this film. I think it's entertaining, cheesy as hell, not as good as the original one that it's off of, but it is Escape from LA. This was just fun, it's stupid, whatever, you know, come on. Take it easy, guys, just movies. But this one, corny, fun, adventure, action, comedy / whatever the hell you want. He just throws everything at the kitchen sink, and it's just a great, fun adventure with Snake Plissken. That's all I need. That's all I wanted. That's all I got. Whatever. I'm gonna watch it again just to spite the haters. But let's keep moving. I got 3 more to go. Let's get this done. Here is Vampires, and this one for some reason is hated. I don't know if it's hated, but it's just like people don't like it, and I think it's fun. I think the characters are awesome. James Wood is just a badass, and he's an asshole, and he's just got so many funny one-liners, and I just remember watching this like in high school and just loving it. It's got a great cast, great concept. He's a vampire hunter that works for the Vatican. He gets sold out by the Vatican. He has to fight the head vampire. It's just fun entertainment, and it's enjoyable. That's all you really need in a movie. So check that one out if you're interested. I enjoy it. I can see the criticism, but I just don't get it. But next up is a movie that a lot of people criticize. I can see the criticism, I agree with some of the criticism, but you know what? Whatever. It's a weird premise for a weird movie. It is Ghosts of Mars. I mean, you can't really take it serious. You got Ice Cube in the freaking lead role, so who gives a shit? You even got Jason Statham. I forgot Jason Statham was in this movie. That's how forgettable some of this stuff is, but whatever, you know? It's just ridiculous action schlock. Pam Grier's in it for just a small bit, I remember. Was that Natasha something Henstridge? It's weird. It's got a weird structure to it because I remember like they tell you what happens and then they show it. I don't like stories like that. Just start from beginning to end and end it. You're not freaking Quentin Tarantino. You don't need to, you know, tell a story about like Pulp Fiction's layout. But decent enough. I like, for some reason I like movies. I like shitty movies that are on Mars. I don't know why. I like Red Planet. I like Mission to Mars is what it's called. Anything related to Mars I'm interested in because I just think it's an interesting place. And that's an interesting movie that John Carpenter made. Fun. And that's all it's really meant to be. But lastly, on my John Carpenter collection is The Ward. And this was a decent enough flick. It was nice that he came back to do one last movie. Whoop-de-doo, here's The Ward. It's good. It's not horrible. It's good. Amber Heard's decent. What you gonna do? So that's The Ward. That's my The Ward review. Decent enough. But guys, that is the John Carpenter collection here, and this is my collection video. So hopefully you liked some of those movies, were interested in picking up some of those Blu-rays or some of those editions and checking them out for yourself. But I will see you guys in the next collection update or movie review. So I'll check you guys later.